December 31st, Old Year. January 1st, New Year. Black eyed peas, collard greens, water crystals, these things are supposed to bring prosperity and good luck. Most of us, while we're gearing up to do these things, most of us, while we're gearing up to go to church, to usher in the new year in church, thinking that the pastor is going to bring us the right things, teach us the right things. What you don't realize is that while we gear up to celebrate this New Year celebration, it's really after another god. A Roman god called Janus, or a Greek god called Chronos, or Father Time. Let's get into a little history on it. Janus. Janus was viewed as a god of time, beginnings, endings, and transitions. Janus was a god of the beginning and end of various events, such as seasons, months, and years. Janus is also believed to be the namesake of the month of January, because of course you're going to realize that most of these pagans, these Romans, they had gods for every day of the week and every month of the year. You understand? If you back up a little bit, you're going to see where January was after Janus, February was after the Roman god, February, March after the god Mars, and so forth and so forth. You understand? So these pagans, these Romans, they had a god for every day of the week, every month of the year. Right? So we're going to go a little more into Janus again. Janus was one of the most significant and widely worshipped gods in all of Rome's history. His presence in Roman culture and religion is quite too old, as its worship predates the establishment of Rome itself. So before Rome was even established, these pagans was already celebrating Janus. You understand? That pagan god. Now you're going to ask, why Janus had two faces? Let's get into that. With his two faces, Janus could look back on the past and its events, while also looking ahead to the future. Janus became the ancient symbol for resolutions, and many Romans looked for forgiveness from their enemies, while also exchanging gifts before the beginning of the new year. And of course, we see that is the same tradition till today. We go into the Christian church, Muslim mosque, wherever we go to, looking for that forgiveness from the Most High, and also exchanging gifts and doing all manner of things that is not of the Lord. Right? He is also depicted with a key and a staff, which symbolizes opening the new and ushering in people from the old. So which means the key that he have in some of the photos that you might see symbolizes him opening the doors or opening this new path or this new way and ushering people, which will be the next half, with the rod or the staff, guiding them into this new way of life. You understand? That is why you see people have all these old year's resolutions, and they're starting to come up with new resolutions. They want new things to do this year and so forth and so forth. You understand? And when you look back and you realize for whole year, nobody never keep up with their New Year's resolutions. You understand? So now we're going to go into Father Time, right? Father Time is usually depicted as an elderly bearded man, dressed in a robe and carrying a sit and an hourglass or other timekeeping device. You understand? A sit is something like a sickle. You understand? You see like how we have quote unquote the Grim Reaper? Yeah, that is what Father Time is moved with, right? According to the Greek mythology. Around New Year's Eve, Father Time is personified or depicted from the previous year or the old year, who typically hands over the duties to the time of the baby New Year. You understand? So which is the old year's day into the New Year's Day, because the New Year's Day, that is the baby part of the year. Right? Who typically hands over the duties of time to the baby New Year or the New Year, or who otherwise characterizes the preceding year. In more basic terms, out of the old and in with the new, the most popular tradition which coincides with the transformation of the old year to the new is the act of the New Year's resolution, and that is what most people do. Make sure to have a New Year's resolution for when they're going to church. Is either going to go into church more, or they're going to unalive some enemy they have for the new year. You understand? Or they're going to accomplish certain things that they need to accomplish. Whatever resolution they have, this is what they're carrying it into the new year. You understand? This tradition dates back to 153 BC. Janus, a mythical king of early Rome, who was placed at the head of the calendar. And of course, we know January was named after that Roman god called Janus. You understand? So now, when you're getting up to go to church, you're getting up to celebrate New Year's Day, you're getting up to eat your black eyed peas and your collard greens. This have nothing to do with the Most High. This have nothing to do with God. Your religious leaders is not going to teach you that, and they are not going to show you that these things does not belong to the Most High. You understand? So now you might be asking, well, if that is not the old year, when does the new year really start? We're going to show you biblically when the new year starts, right? We're going to the book of Exodus chapter 12 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year unto you. Now you might be asking, what month is that? This is the time when the children of Israel was getting ready to leave Egypt. Whilst Moses was giving them the things that they needed to do with the lambs and taking the blood and putting it over the doorpost, because of course the Lord was getting ready to execute judgment on our oppressors, on the Egyptians. You understand? And Moses was telling us what we needed to do. Right? So we could jump through a few verses brisk. Verse 11. Thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. Verse 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. You understand? Because of course, again, the death angel passed, took the firstborn of all the Egyptians, but the children of Israel were saved. You understand? We roll back to verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it for a feast unto the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it for a feast by an ordinance forever. Now this is what we as a people supposed to be celebrating, the Lord's Passover. This shows so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, that around the Passover time is actually the new year, not December 31st into January 1st. That is not of the Lord. That is of another God called Janus. When you go to church tonight, you get up yourself, you go to church, you cook your black eyed peas, and you do all these things. You are not doing that after the Most High. You are not doing that after Jesus Christ. You're actually doing that after another God. You understand? What you need to do is come into ISUPK under commanding General Yohana. Search up ISUPK in your city, in your country, and get to the closest school near you. And with that, I am Priest and Officer Matt Kwayak. Shalom.